Today is going to be freaking delicious. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and in Cincinnati we have a style of chili that's different from anywhere else in the world. We serve it a different way as well. We do cheese conies, and we also do three-way, four-way, or five-way. It's basically a branch off the same thing. Tonight, what I'm gonna be making is I'm gonna be making a four-way. You're gonna have spaghetti, and then you're gonna have Cincinnati-style chili on top of that, topped off with either onions or beans. I'm gonna go onions because beans are terrible, why would I ever do that? And then on top of that is gonna be shredded cheddar cheese. And then it's normally served with hot sauce and oyster crackers. But I'm gonna make the whole thing from scratch. I'm gonna make the pasta, I'm gonna make the oyster crackers, and I'm gonna make the chili. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. Let's jump in. All right, I'm gonna start off making the pasta dough. I've got 7 ounces of Italian 00 flour, and I have 3 ounces of, by weight, of semolina flour, which is a little bit more of a coarse flour. And the combination of those two give a really good, like a good mouthfeel to the pasta. I've really dialed in my pasta recipe over the years, and this is a pretty solid one. So mix your dry ingredients together first. So the 00 and the semolina. Let's get this kind of start mixing up. So I got the dry ingredients going, and then I've got 6 eggs. I've got 2 whole eggs, and then I have 4 yolks. So I'll put those in there, kind of slowly. And then get those going. And I'll let those slowly kind of work their way in. And then something I personally add, not everybody adds this, but I add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil to my pasta dough, which helps keep it a little bit more moist. Increase the speed a little bit here. Get this going. And I'll just take a little spatula and kind of get this kind of working in a little bit. Just until it's basically combined, and then I'm going to move it out to the work surface out here and kind of knead it for a little while. Isn't this fun? So I'll lightly dust this. You want to work the dough and just make sure it all kind of comes together, so you can stretch it. Technique I do is I kind of grab it and kind of push it out with my hand like that, and then fold it back upon itself, and just keep on kneading it like that. You want to keep on kneading it until the dough gets really silky, which it will get there eventually. You just got to keep on kneading it for a little while. All right, so dough is looking pretty good. I'm gonna wrap this with some saran wrap, and I'm gonna let it sit for at least 30 minutes before I actually transform it into the actual spaghetti that we're gonna be making. I'm gonna put a double layer on it. I wanna make sure it's wrapped up real tight. All right, for the dough, for the oyster crackers, I'm gonna combine 5 ounces of Italian 00 flour. You can use all-purpose flour, it doesn't really matter. Got a tablespoon of salt, put in there, a tablespoon of sugar, and a tablespoon of baking powder, put that in there, and then 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. And then 1/3 of a cup of water. That's a basic dough. Just gonna mix this up until it all turns into a loose dough. If it doesn't work out, I can always add a little bit more water if it's necessary, but I weighed everything out, so it should be good. All right, I'm getting there with my hands. Just gonna bring this dough together. Get this thing floured up. So I'm gonna gently knead this thing for just a little bit. Good stuff off the fingers. Get that into the dough. Okay, don't over-knead it. So this dough is basically ready. So I'm gonna cover this with a wet towel. Let that sit for about 30 minutes, and then we're gonna roll that out and get those bacon. Cover that with a wet towel. Set that aside with the pasta dough. Onto the chili. All right, a little bit of oil on the bottom of the pan. Most important part is you have to start off with quality ingredients. So this beef I got from Grassroots Farms from this town that's about an hour outside of east of Cincinnati, Ohio, and they have the best meat. So just gonna brown up some of the meat and put that in there with a small onion and 3 cloves of garlic that I diced. So diced garlic. I'm actually gonna hold off on the garlic for a moment because I don't want it to burn. but I'm gonna go with 1 onion as well. So I diced the onion, and I'm gonna add a little pepper, season this guy up a little bit, and some salt. It's a pretty simple process. You just want to make sure that the ingredients you're working with are quality ingredients. And there's some interesting ingredients that I'm going to be using that you're not going to be finding in chili. Cincinnati style chili is completely different than chili you're going to find anywhere else. There's no beans in the chili. It's a very loose style of chili, I guess you could say. It's like there's chocolate and cinnamon inside of our chili, which you're not going to see that anywhere else either. I hope you guys make this after I'm done. Once you see the final product, it's the bomb. All right, it's been a few minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get the garlic in there. Make sure I get all of it because I really like garlic. So 3 diced cloves of garlic. I'm going in, continue to work this around. Try to get the ground beef really crumbled up in here because it's gonna be, like I said, it's a very loose style of chili, so you really want the grounds to crumble. My wife's a vegetarian. I made the exact same style of chili for her earlier today, but except hers is lentils instead of beef. And I tasted it and it's awesome. So this is gonna turn out really good too. Now we're gonna add the different spices that we're gonna be using. We're just gonna put them in. They're gonna sit there for like maybe a minute or two until you can smell them to become aromatic, and then we're gonna add their wet ingredients to it. So we got the chili powder, and then we got cayenne. I went pretty heavy on the cayenne actually, because again, as you guys know, I like it pretty spicy. Allspice, cinnamon, believe it or not, cumin, and then 1 bay leaf. So get all that in there. Mix this up so you can really start to smell it. Oh, it's gonna be good. All right, everything's starting to smell pretty good over here, so I'm gonna add all the wet ingredients in here, and then we're basically just gonna let it simmer. So we're gonna start off with a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Get that in there. Tablespoon of unsweet chocolate. This is going to be 1/3 cup of water. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And then 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I'm gonna move this guy to the back burner and let this guy sit on low. So that guy's gonna hang out back there for about an hour. All right, let's make the oyster crackers. We're gonna roll this out to about an 1/8 of an inch thick, slice it into whatever shape oyster crackers I wanna make them, and then we're gonna bake them off at 375 for about 15 minutes, and then there's one more step beyond there. So I just wanna make sure that my working area is well dusted with flour. My dough is well dusted, and my rolling pin is well dusted at the same time. It's getting pretty thin, we're about there. So we're gonna take parchment paper lined baking sheet, and I'm just gonna start kind of cutting these out. About there. I want to be about an inch square. These are gonna be a little bit larger oyster crackers than you're normally used to. I'm gonna kind of go right down the middle and start working those over from right to left. Right about there. I'm gonna dust them with a little bit of flour one more time, and slowly move them over. And I want to give them plenty of breathing room on here, so this is gonna be kind of a process. So I just lay them out, want to give them plenty of breathing room because I don't want them to touch and stick or anything like that. But I am going to maximize how many I can get on here. Just about there. I don't know if they're all going to fit on this baking sheet, so I might have to do 2 batches, but that's all right. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to make them fit. All right, I lied when I said I'm going to make them fit. So we're going to get another pan. All right, pop these bad boys in the oven. We're going 375 for 15 minutes or until I see them start to get like pretty brown. So I'm gonna check them after like 10 and kind of see where we're at. Get this dough out. Floured up so nothing sticks. Get a dough scraper and we're gonna cut off a nice little chunk. Ooh. So this is the dough we're gonna work with. The dough we're not using, we're going to cover with a wet towel so it does not dry out. I'm gonna put my pasta machine on the widest setting that it can go to. And we're gonna begin to kind of roll this out. Go to the very last setting. Get a big long sheet here. Stick together. A little bench scraper. Cut it into 3 pieces. And then I'm gonna step it up here and cut this into a pretty thin, basically kind of like a fettuccine. It's almost like an angel hair. On this machine, I can make fettuccine or I can make angel hair. Traditionally, you'd be doing spaghetti, but I don't have a pasta extruder, so I cannot make spaghetti. So I'm making angel hair, which is gonna work just as well. We got all the pasta made out. Now we're gonna boil it. So I'm gonna do 1 test batch, see how that goes. Once it starts floating, it's done. It's only gonna take like literally seconds. Yep, that's done. Put this right over here so we can strain. Also, to help the pasta not stick after it's all done, put a little bit of olive oil in the pasta that's in there. Let's toss that and I'll keep everything off. Get it separated. Wowzer, that's hot. All right, here's the last of it. I'm gonna cut the heat on the water. Transfer this over here, and then I'm gonna shock this pasta real quick, finish the cooking process, make sure it's all tossed in olive oil. There we go. Get some pretty cold water. Get yourself a big old block of cheese. Mild cheddar. That's the way to do it. I'm gonna grate it pretty thick. Move a portion of this to a bowl. I know. A real 4-way. We're in Cincinnati style chili. They do not mess around with the amount of cheese they put on top of it. Just a warm. Toss some little salt. All right, oyster crackers. So step 1 is pasta. Get yourself a good little portion of it. Put it right there. Just like that. Now don't be scared. This is gonna good. This is the way to do it. I'm telling you. All right, then you take the chili. You put it directly on top of the pasta. Now here's where you can decide. You want to make it a 4-way. You want to make it a 5, or you want a 4-way. But depending on if you want to go onion or going to go beans, I'm going onion because I hate beans. So they top it with the onions that we soaked. So you get a yellow onion on top of that. Boom. And last but not least, a big mound of cheddar cheese. So go right on top of that. And then, on the side, we serve it with some oyster crackers. And that is how you make a four-way in Cincinnati. All right, eat. All right, eat. I'm not gonna forget the hot sauce. Don't you worry. The one thing that you can't make. So the only thing I didn't make, I didn't grow the onions. I didn't make the cheese. And Skyline, who is the best chili parlors in Cincinnati, they make their own hot sauce. It's irreplaceable. I can't make this, so you're gonna have to go to the commercial bought. But I'm gonna go pretty liberal over the entire thing. And I'm also gonna show you guys. There's a way to eat this too, because you can't. There's no swirling with the fork or anything like that. You don't do that. Just get in there. Make sure everything's separated out. And go for it. Man, that's good. All right. Literally, everyone stop, eat. Eat food now. Eat food, Steven. Eat, man.
Hey, this is Brian Ames. Please click the subscribe button that you see right there, and you'll subscribe to my videos. From now on, I'm going to be eating a lot of peppers. It's going to, oh man, it's going to be great. Bye.